Hello and welcome to Legalese 123. I'm your host, Missy K. Tonight is Friday night, and we're going to do a Friday case catch up. So, we're talking about cases that I haven't quite introduced before, but some of them I have, and just where we are in their status. Hey, do you guys know I made an intro to my podcast and I'm hoping that this is good. So I'm going to introduce it here and hopefully it's not going to be too loud. And oh, I forgot to mention for some reason on my past podcast, I wasn't able to put the comment leave for you to be able to leave a comment. So I'm going to see if I can fix that, but I'm not sure about past ones. But again, still learning. So please bear with me. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Legalese 123, where we are covering cases across America. So let me see if I can do that again, but I'm going to make it bigger. Again, I'm just still learning, figuring this all out. Here we go. All right, let's see if that'll do it again. You ready? Here we go. Here's my intro. Welcome back to Legalese 123, where we are covering cases across America. Oh, that was fun. All right. So, have you guys heard of Tom Daly? So, if you see, I am wearing this lovely red scarf that I knitted. I am a knitter. I love knitting. There is a new knitting show. It's sort of like British Bake Off, but it is with Tom Daly, who is a British knitter. And if you see this lovely thing he is wearing, it is like a gladiator. And there are two wonderful artists, Sheila Greenwell and Di Gilpin, who created this frock he is wearing. It's amazing. I did watch the first show. I don't know what to tell you, but they do say that it was a little controversial because they had a ad for cremation in between the videos of the show, and some people were like, "Oh my gosh, you can't do that." But I mean, I say good on them because who knits the most, you know? There's lots of grannies out there that knit and, you know. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Do you think that they shouldn't have had a cremation video advertisement in between the show? I don't know. British people, I don't know. Anyways, all right, so let's get rid of that. And now we're going to do da 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 Friday case catch up. Da 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 da. All right, so let's see what we have going on today. So, oh, we have Brian Walsh. Okay. So, if you go into my Legalese 123 podcast, you'll see that I have done a deep dive on him. Brian Walsh is accused of severing parts of his wife and throwing them in different trash cans. And he is going on trial very soon. That is what he's being accused of. He is in Massachusetts. Again, when I do these presentations, I don't know why the Massachusetts is under his head, but technical difficulties. What can you say? All right, so let's see. So, what's going on in the Walsh case? Delay, delay, delay. We were already supposed to be in jury selection for his trial, but they have bumped it back. And why? Well, if you recall, Trooper Michael Proctor, former Trooper Michael Proctor, he was the lead investigator in the Karen Reed case. He has got his hands super filthy in many, many, many other cases. I think as of late it was 19 cases. So recall that in Karen Reed's first trial, the U.S. attorney Josh Levy gave all of the federal information to the defense and the prosecution, and in that were some of text messages and information from Trooper Michael Proctor. That was in what's called the federal TUI dump. If you have known a little bit about Brian Walsh, one of Brian Walsh's prosecuting attorney is on his case. And when Walsh's attorney, Larry Tipton, wanted to get the text from Proctor from Karen's case, they are federally protected, so he was unable to get them. And so the Judge Fernier, asked Laura McLaughlin if she knew of any information in the federal dump, if there was anything exculpatory, meaning anything that should be given to the defense in the Walsh case. She was asked twice, and on the second time, Judge Frenier did not let her weasel her way out of it, and she eventually said, yes, there's something exculpatory. So there were about 5 to 6 attorneys, one of them, Rosemary Scapicchio, and put a pin in that because we'll come back to her. She was insistent upon getting those text messages because they were set to be returned or destroyed after the Karen Reed case. So there are lots of lawyers fighting for that information to find out whether or not it is exculpatory in their cases. And in the Walsh case, we do know that there are some texts from the federal TUI dump. So thousands of messages, don't know what's in them. We don't know what's exculpatory to Walsh. So we are going to find out. So, did they delay because of a psych evaluation? Mr. Walsh is still being held without bail. And unfortunately, he had an incident in jail where somebody stabbed him somewhere around his head or neck area. We're not 100% sure. And he recently said that he is unable to assist in his case because he is having some issues. The judge immediately said, yep, okay, we're going to halt everything. We'll come back in late October and you'll go to the hospital, Bridgewater State Hospital, and you'll get evaluated to see whether or not you're competent to stand trial and whether or not you're competent to help within your case. Now, this bought Larry Tipton some time because number one, they were still fighting over the federal dump of the TUI materials. And so they recently got those like 2 weeks ago. Then, like last week, Mr. Proctor, who was trying to get his job back, said that he didn't have any more messages or anything. So he used his personal cell phone as his work phone. So he had a work phone and he had a personal phone. And he used his personal phone for text messages as well. So that is exculpatory. If you used your personal phone for work, unfortunately, don't do it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice. Do not take it from me. It's just personal advice, right? So perhaps Larry Tipton was delaying to get those the federal dump text messages. So he got those. Now it has been revealed that there are hundreds of thousands of messages from Trooper Michael Proctor in his personal cell phone, emails, all dating back to 2013. This is going to be a reoccurring thing. We're going to hear it again. Remember, it's sort of like when you eat a powdered donut and then you go and you touch something else. That powder will then resonate from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. So we will see how much powdered donut material is on other cases. Remember, 19 so far. There might be more. Walsh is one of them, and that's one that's coming up soon. So, did the psych eval help? Well, there is going to be a competency hearing on November 11th, which is Tuesday, and they are going to see whether or not Mr. Walsh is fit for trial. So, that'll be next week, and so we will review that, and we'll come back and let you know what's going on. Now, I doubt that they're going to actually start a trial because with all of the holidays and stuff going on, they don't want to say, okay, we impaneled a jury. Oh, wait, we're going to be off for 2 weeks for the holidays, and then you come back. So my guess is there's probably going to be more of a delay, and they probably won't start this until January. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. Next, we have Miles King versus Massachusetts. Miles was indicted for first-degree murder for the death of Marquis Simmons, carrying a firearm without a license and carrying apparently he wrote that twice. Anyways, that happened in July 10th of 2021. Remember I said Rosemary Scapicchio? Ugh, again, this is all messed up. I don't know why. But anyways, Rosemary Scapicchio, there she is. She is an incredible defense lawyer. If you haven't watched my series on the Netflix series called Trial 4, which is the docuseries about Sean Ellis, definitely go and check it out and go watch that series. You'll see Rosemary in action and you will see how fabulous she is. And she is a defense attorney that you want on your side if you are in Massachusetts. So she was one of the lawyers with whom demanded Proctor's texts and demanded them from the federal TUI dump. She was adamant in saying if Mr. Proctor had said nasty words about Karen Reed, what was he saying about brown people and black people? And that's primarily who her customers are. So they did get the federal materials, as I stated. Whether or not they're exculpatory to their case, we don't know. But with the thousands of other text messages from Proctor's phone, those two are exculpatory. We'll find out what the donut fingerprints are leading to this case. So, in Miles King's case, he has discovery issues. Ooh, boy, ha. That's not surprising, right? You're going to see that that is a common thing with the Massachusetts State Police and the District Attorney's Office in Massachusetts, where they just don't turn over evidence in the timely fashion that the judge has set forth. Rosemary is a proponent of the discovery issues. And in fact, in this case, Miles King was allowed to be out on bail because of the discovery issues. Some of the discovery issues were that they did not give her the affidavits that they had presented to the grand jury that said the search warrants that they had sent to the grand jury that they had elicited to can do a grand jury indictment on him. They hadn't turned them over. Remember, that case was in 2021. We are in 2025 now. So she has had so many discovery issues with this case. So how is that going to turn out? That is one of the intriguing things about this case. Again, Proctor, we've already mentioned him. And recently, so now that she has received Proctor's federal TUI dump from Karen Reed's case, they're going to get more discovery from his other phone. She had asked for more funds to get an investigator and a cell phone expert. Who's going to go through all of those text messages? Who's going to investigate all of the things that are involved with Proctor's phone? Unfortunately, she went in front of Judge Krupp. Judge Krupp is a tough judge, and he denied her any extra funds. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to proceed, but Rosemary is a very scrappy person. Miles King is set to be back for discovery motion hearings on December 4th at 2 p.m. And finally, that trial will probably proceed, maybe not until January, but the gentleman with whom he is accused of killing, the Simmons family, finally might get some answers. Now, unfortunately, as I stated, Proctor is in this case and in the Walshe case and maybe 19 others, right? There is a huge problem in the DA's office right now. Is Proctor's text messages going to be so inflammatory that a possibility that one of these criminals might get set free? Did they commit these crimes? Remember, they're innocent until proven guilty. They're innocent until all of the evidence has been presented and a jury decides whether or not they did or did not commit these crimes. But could Proctor's mishap of these investigations, could he potentially have something that he is hiding that will eventually get an acquittal? We don't know. That's why it's so important that we watch these cases. All right, so now we have the Karen Reed civil case. So, as you may know, Karen Reed was acquitted of running over John O'Keefe with her car, although ARCA said that there was no car crash. So, she's been acquitted of potentially killing John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe's brother, Paul O'Keefe, and their family are suing Karen Reed in a civil case over, emotional affliction of harm and other things. This too is very important as well because Proctor's text will also be very important in this case, even though it's a civil case and not a criminal case. So, what's going on with this? So, she just recently got some new attorneys. Tang and Marvellis are in, Mellick and Porter are out. So, why did she get some new attorneys? It's purported that Tang and Marvellis have a little bit more experience dealing with the things involving the civil case and her insurance. We're not sure whether or not they were being hired by her car insurance company or whether or not she had an umbrella policy, an insurance policy on her house that she owned. She no longer owns the house. She had to sell that to pay her attorneys. But if she had an umbrella policy, this would be quite underneath that. So we're not really exactly sure. It will eventually come out. Again, we've got new Proctor texts, photos, videos, and stuff. Will that be used in this case? Again, it all just depends on what has been discovered and whether or not uh, it's pertinent to her case. So the last time we were in court with them, Damon Sellingson promised and adding a civil countersuit, affirmative claims against the Massachusetts State Police, Brian Telly, Yuri Buchanan, former Trooper Michael Proctor for civil rights violations, conspiracy, Brian Albert, he was in the house at 34 Fairview, Nicole Albert, she was in the house, Matt McCabe, he was in the house, Jen McCabe, Brian Higgins, and the town of Canton. We're back in court for our next hearing, which is Friday, November 21st at 2 p.m. So far, right now, they had asked if they could do a countersuit and bring these claimants into this current suit that's going on right now. Now, Paul O'Keefe's attorneys are like, no, 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 no. But these same players are going to be testifying in this case. So her attorneys are like, hey, judge, why don't we just combine all of these cases together? She's going to be civilly sued by Paul. Karen's going to civilly sue all of these people. All of this is going to come out in one big, all the questions are going to be asked the same. So why don't we just combine them? So far, Karen Reed's civil attorneys have not filed this case in this case. It's kind of complicated, but they have not made their affirmative claims just yet. Will they do that before November 21st? That is the big question. So we'll be looking for that. Next, we have Corey Richens versus Utah. So I did a deep dive on her. Again, if you want more information, just go back into the playlist and you'll see Corey Richens. Here's Corey Richens with her husband. She is accused of giving him a fentanyl overdose in his Moscow Mule. This isn't her first attempt. She attempted to give him a fentanyl breakfast sandwich. He had a bad reaction to it, but he lived. She upped the dosage, and unfortunately, he passed away. She is a real estate person, and she basically killed him for his money. Again, she's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So we're going to see what evidence they have against her, but those are some of the facts in the case thus far. She's been in the news lately because there is a star witness in the prosecution's case who basically said that he didn't give the other party fentanyl. He gave her pills instead, which were OxyContin. Is that enough to get Corey out of jail? Needless to say, the judge has not ruled on anything just yet. The last time I looked at the docket, there is still a pretrial conference hearing that is scheduled for December 5th at 3:30 p.m. There's a defense motion to exclude expert state witnesses on January 7th. State's motion to determine admissibility for the walk the dog letter. Again, that's in my deep dive I did on her if you want more information on the walk the dog letter. And then jury selection and jury is supposed to be set for February 23rd. Now, just remember, none of these dates are set in stone. These are just dates to get the things moving. Things come up all the time. Witnesses are available, witnesses aren't available. Sometimes evidence just magically appears and things get pushed back, forward, and backwards. And so these are just preliminary dates, and we'll just see whether or not they stick. She has too it's been a long time for her. She's been in jail, and hopefully they'll finally get a jury started. All right. Next, we have Aaron Spencer versus Arkansas. Now, 37-year-old Aaron Spencer is being charged with second-degree murder and a firearm enhancement for the shooting and death of Michael Fossler, who was 67. Fossler had been charged with many sexual offenses against Spencer's daughter, and he was out on bond. Apparently there are only two judges in Lonoke, Arkansas, which is where he is from. And the judge, Barbara Elmore, had Mr. Fossler in front of her, and she let him go on a $5,000 bond. Later on, he kidnapped Aaron Spencer's daughter. He went to their house and scooped her up in the middle of the night. Their dog was barking. Aaron heard the dog barking and saw that his daughter was missing. He got into a car, found Fossler. Somehow or another, there was a scuffle, and Spencer shot Fossler. Fossler ended up deceased. So is this justified? Is it not justified? We don't know. So currently, right now, there was just a recent filing in his case that both the defense and the prosecution wanted to extend the discovery filing deadlines. So now she stated that all motions are to be filed no later than November 24th, and responses December 3rd. They too are hoping to have a trial and a jury sometime in January. So that is where we're going. Now, we're going to pause here for just a second because I have something exciting for you. One moment, please. You're not going to believe this. So here is something super special for you. I'm going to play it first, and then we will then make a decision.
Hello, Lonoke. My name is Aaron Spencer. Many of you know my story. I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed. I'm also a husband, a combat veteran of the 82nd Airborne Division, a contractor, and a farmer. And through my own fight for justice, I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement and in our circuit court. And I refuse to stand by while others face these same failures. That's why I'm announcing my candidacy to run for Lonoke County Sheriff. This campaign isn't about me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family who deserves to feel safe in their homes and safe in their community. It's about restoring trust, where neighbors know law enforcement is on their side, and families know that they will not be left alone in a moment of need. Together, we can build a safer, stronger Lonoke County for every family. I'm Aaron Spencer, and I'm running for Sheriff of Lonoke County.
Whoa, what do you think about that? Can you imagine that? He is running for sheriff. He's got these murder charges against him. Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know what the rules are in their county, whether or not if you have charges against you, whether or not you can run for sheriff, but apparently he can. So that will be very interesting to see, and very interesting to see if he wins. And then what does his case look like? Is it a conflict of interest if he's the sheriff and then he's going to be charged by the prosecutor? I don't know. So again, it's bizarro. It is super, 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 super bizarre. So again, here's Barbara Elmore, who had signed the notice. I mean, I feel like there's a conflict of interest with her, that she was on the other case with Michael Fossler, and that now here she's on this case, and she should recuse herself. They should have a change of venue. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that his attorney will find a way to answer those questions. So that, I think, is all that we have currently right now for our case catch up. It was very quickly tonight. I'm very surprised. So that's all that we have going on. Again, a lot of things happening before the end of the year, but the next year is going to be super, super busy. So make sure that you like and subscribe. I'm going to figure out what the commenting thing is, and comment down below if you can, if I can get that working, whether or not you think there's a conflict with the Aaron Spencer running for sheriff. So we're going to see you again on the next one. And again, I made an outro. So let's see if... Thanks for watching Legalese 1, 2, 3. If you like what
Wait
you
again.
saw, please like and subscribe for more content. Okay, here we go. It's going to be by itself. All right, here we go. Thanks for watching Legalese 123. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe for more content.